All right. Look, we're going to do a Pokemon commercial. This is for not commercial. We're going to learn about. I love. You know how much money I spent on Pokemon?
How much?
A lot. It was size quarters when my daughter was growing up. In general, just in general, you know, the games at the arcades and
Yeah.
Pokemon. Pokemon's good.
Yeah. I think it's great. I mean, I never got into it when I was younger and stuff, but my kids are into it, and man, especially. But I did get into the Pokemon Go when that came out. That was fun. Something so different. So
This is good
yeah,
stuff. Pokemon is, well, we actually passed the day, but every day is Pokemon Day.
yeah,
Learn
it
the
can be.
educational aspect of this classic game. I gotta catch them all, Pokemon. That is all right. So tell us about familiar with Pikachu. All right, tell us about All right, I never heard of Pokemon. All right, so take it from that standpoint.
Right. Well, I mean, Pokemon is it's a fun. It started out as just a card game where kids go head to head. They have each card has a character on it or a location, and it has certain numbers of hit points and magical spells and all sorts of stuff built into each card. So you sit across from somebody else and you play against each other, and the cards act almost like as your combatants. So you can try to win their cards or they try to win yours, depending on what you're playing. And it just turned into such a big phenomenon of people playing these cards and collecting them. And now some of the cards, I was at a store the other day. My son found a card that was on display for $1,000 for one Pokemon card. So that's what Pokemon is at its core. It's almost like like Magic the Gathering, a similar to a game to that. But it became so much more than just that now. It's got the cartoons, it's got the card game, the Pokemon Go. It's all over the place, clearly.
And this evolved from Japan, right? Is that so?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And Japan loves these kind of games. I mean, there have been Nintendos and other kinds of. I made a show there a long time ago when I was with Channel 13, living in the future and working in the future. I went to the Scuba World Science Fair back in the early '80s, and one of their pavilions was all robots. The robots that they're all talking about. Like, what year is this now? 2000.
Where are we?
This was 82. All right. And they also had a big statue of this man, and it said Jack Killian. I don't know if you know this name, Jack Killian, Texas Instruments at this place. Jack Killian invented the integrated circuit. And there he's a hero in their country because,
Sure.
all their equipment is IC related. So they've always been sort of love that innovation. Yourself, you're a parenting expert. What does that mean? Is that right? Did I read that right?
You did read it right. That's what I operate as within Brainly. My wife really rolls her eyes when she hears it because she's like, "Oh, you're the expert at parenting, huh?" But my background is in working with kids and parenting in general. So I guess I can fill those shoes. I was a teacher for a long while in Brooklyn, New York. I have 3 kids of my own. I'm one of the co-founders of a website called Life of Dad, which is all about every aspect of parenting from a dad's perspective, which we grew to be one of the biggest parenting websites in the world for at least a stretch, especially on the dad side of things. We've got, thousands of communities of people in these communities online of fathers who kind of talk about different subjects. So because of that, I've got a bit of an insight on the parenting thing. So I work with Brainly in that capacity, but also as a former educator, it's a great alignment because Brainly is it's a fantastic tool for kids and education.
Well, what is and stay on 2 seconds after because I want to maybe set something up. I like the dad part, and I think I know where Brooklyn is. So for a long time. All right. Yeah. So what's the Brainly? What is that?
Brainly, it's a site where kids can go on, or an app even too. They can go on if they're having trouble with homework or any subject. They can go on there and type in a question and say, "Hey, I need help." And literally kids from around the world will jump on and start giving assistance, saying like, oh, you're somebody's struggling with math. They can put in a question, and you might have a kid from Japan. You might have a kid from, up the road from you jumping on and saying like, well, here's what I do to try and get to the answer, So it's kids helping kids to with their homework. So it's really unique in that the kids get that sort of that attention from their perspective rather than, an adult talking to them and explaining things. Kids have a better way to communicate with each other. So it's just a great tool for kids. It's a great tool for parents, especially somebody like me I've forgotten all math at this point. So when my daughter needs help with her math homework, I'm useless, but I can say, hey, let's jump on Brainly and throw a question in and see what happens. Or use the app. They have this really awesome thing with AI where you can, if you ever have the app on your phone, you can just hold it over a question, the camera, and it breaks down how to get to the answer for you. Like it just pops right up on the computer or your phone, your tablet, and gives you a breakdown of the way to get to it. And you can keep asking it over and over and over again, and it'll keep giving you those answers. So it's a great site, great app. What a great tool. I wish I had it when I was in school, for gosh sakes.
I need it now. So
yeah, right.
This little guy has been, I know I'm in the virtual world, is my mother was a librarian. Used to use the Dewey Decimal System. So you know about that, right?
Yeah,
so,
I use the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, so times have changed. So every time I talk to somebody is like I'd say probably within about 12 seconds, I'm Googling it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you the answer. Wait a second. And I talk to it too. So
right.
I don't know, because I'm not so brainly. So I'm looking at Brainly now. Okay. And thank you, Brainly, for I think bringing out this Pokemon kind of outreach that we're here in conversation for. You're 24/7 homework helper. Ask 350 million teachers and students any school question.
That's what it is. Yeah, they have a crazy amount of users on it, and kids that start using it, they keep coming back more and more, because not just for help, but to actually give help, which reinforces the learning that they already do. So they already know. So if they go on and they're struggling with something with geography or, social studies or whatever it is, they ask a question, but then they see somebody else struggling with something with math, and they say, hey, let me help that person. And it's gamified too. So they get like badges and rewards. So it just kind of keeps the community alive, and the kids are always jumping back on more and more. It's awesome.
I love these new words. It's gamified. They get rewards. So it's not treats anymore.
Yeah, gamification.
All I got was a gold star on my clarinet case.
Yeah, right.
I'm a musician. The times they're changed, but the concept doesn't. Mainly, I'll say mainly brainly, because human beings are always going to be the same thing. I don't care what anybody says. We're Homo sapiens. We cry, we laugh, we have the same emotions. We will always have the same emotions, no matter what words you kind of put to it. The bottom line, and you being a teacher, you understand what I'm speaking about, I'm sure, and a dad, and I'm a granddad. Okay, so right after this, they all know I'm doing this interview. I said, Grandpa's doing this interview. So, I was so proud. I took it because of my grandkids, to be honest.
Awesome. That's what better reason to do it.
But also, I make TV shows for young people. I'm working with Wonderama, and I have Times Square. I do the World Peace Day concert in Central Park. I have a big hold on the Great Lawn this year, and then I have Times Square for World Peace. So I'll let you know more about that. I'm a New Yorker, so Upper West Side.
Where in New York are you?
Well, I'm on the Upper West Side, but I've been going to Brooklyn 50 years. So
gotcha. I grew up in Long Beach, and my brother's in the FDNY in Long Island City and my brother-in-law. They're in the same firehouse. So I have 5 brothers and sisters around the area in Queens, and my brother Liam is in Brooklyn. No, he's in Bronx now. So I'm a New Yorker also.
There you go. Well,
Texas now, but
is that right? Texas?
Yep, Austin. So
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a big move. Big change.
Yeah. Just bounced around.
It's a good time in Halloween of 5th Street? 5th Street, was it?
6th Street. 6th Street. Yes, that is a good time over there.
I was down for there for PBS. I was with Channel 13 many years, and we had a convention, and it was Halloween time. And I'm from Tarrytown, though. I'm not a Brooklyn boy, even though my dad was born in Williamsburg and I married a Brooklyn girl. But that Austin, that's a nice town too.
Yeah, I love it here. It's nice. I lived in a couple of different states, but this is a good spot to settle. That's a little balance of, you get enough stuff that you're not feeling bored, like coming from New York. It's easy to kind of get a little bit like ho hum in certain places, but this place has enough going on, but it's also not quite as nutso as New York can be. Also,
not so. What are you talking about?
We have traffic and noise.
It's no noise. Where you must have lived in the noise. You must have lived under a bridge or something. I don't know, the Verrazano or something. We're a bunch of wise guys, New Yorkers.
Of course.
In any case, back to Brainy. All right. Yeah. Well, this is great. This is super. Pokemon. This is all good. Thank you for doing this outreach. They picked the right guy because you're like a happy guy.
I always try to be. Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell us about this?
No, I mean, with the Pokemon thing, they it's kind of like similar to what Brainly tries to do, is that, they did this survey or not the survey, they put out this stuff about Pokemon Day because they want to show like, kids can learn from these games. They can learn at their level. So if you remind them like, hey, in Pokemon, you need to have mathematics. You need to be able to do those things. You need to be able to strategize. So it's a good way to kind of, remind kids that they're always going to be learning in their games, in their daily life. So if you can like combine lessons with those kind of games and the stuff they're into, it's just a great way to learn, and just kind of like Brainly is a great way because they're just learning from other kids also. So
yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That's the reality of life. If you look at anything, you can actually, as they say here, mathematics, history, English, biology, chemistry, physics, social studies, advanced placement, the SAT, geography. Boy, they got a list here. Health, arts.
Yeah.
Anything and everything. From the pen, you could learn mathematics. You can learn everything from something.
Yep, exactly.
If you've accepted that mindset. And what I think you're saying, I had to get a master's degree to understand that in communications. I didn't understand that, but it was a Fairfield University that they taught you the difference of your brain, of looking at something, even your stance on Mother Earth, or Good Little Earth. Once someone gets that, I think that if a teacher can get that through a person's, they got it through my head, a long time ago, and they understand that. I think it widens your scope of growth in almost whatever you do.
Definitely. Absolutely does. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
You're a good man, Patrick. All right. Well, so hang on a second, and thank you very much for this interview, and congratulations, Pokemon.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too.